Timothy McVeigh blew half of the FBI Oklahoma building off, and they were like, "Oh, there's children there." I'm like, why is there children in an FBI building? Like it's a church slash FBI building. Some money is not worth taking. It's called the Hospitaller Rebellion, and it's not limited to the messenger of Allah selecting some enterprising swine from your livestock and propping him up on his hind legs and giving him a badge and a gun and a casino. You have violated separation of church and state. Yeah, it's not just whatever you say it is. Like, democracy is not blanket immunity for whatever some goddamn carpetbagger did to get elected. That's not to say they are all carpetbaggers. Like, some of them are supposed to be investigating this right here, the thing that I'm talking about. Corporate is so fucking stupid. It's called the Hospitaller Rebellion. They can't be relied upon to see their own best interests, let alone run a country. First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor, and there's nothing stopping me. You want to play soft targets? I know soft targets. It's really annoying finding out all of a sudden like you're supposed to be something special. Commies just like exploiting soldiers. I'm also a Jackson. Like, they've been exploiting me. I have 40 years on the clock. 43 years old. Stomping commies is a service to your country. It doesn't matter. Like, if Washington said you were allowed, I was born to stomp commies. Nazis, like, what, you identify as a Nazi? How much does that pay? It's not worth it. Some money's just not worth it. How much is Boko Haram paying you to call yourself a Nazi? If you're dumb enough to identify as a Nazi, you might not know who Boko Haram is. That's the Nigerian Muslim Intifada. It's a terrorist organization all over Africa. That's who you work for. Got a lot of guys named Nerd calling anybody race traitor. I was like, read a book. And I meant it. I said, don't ever talk to me. Some crackhead. Or, joking around. Either way. Washington's taking it personally. That who you work for, Washington? It's a representative government. Like, I guarantee you it wasn't a gangster's disciple. Atlanta, Dylan Roof. I got work on that. Worth more than your whole goddamn operation. Because we're not affiliated. You're over here taking a dive, acting like I owe you something. I can't settle in lit. We're not affiliated. They said the Scottish, me being the Scottish, raping Jackson Dobermans. Rape us a Jackson. Run simulation. 12-year-old. No. Run simulation. Full-grown skinhead gangster raping a Jackson watchdog. Wasn't no cockapoo. Talk about Michael Vick. Dog fighting. I fought that dog. It wasn't two dogs fighting for my amusement. But, you're just born that way. You're just raping 007s right out the cradle. So, why not? It's a psychological profile. It's got nothing to do with reality. It's got nothing to do with my wishes. It's some goddamn homosexual doctor. Some fucking pervert in a lab coat. Dr. Sigmund Freud probably caused the Holocaust. He was a notorious cocaine distributor who lied in his memoirs about him and his boyfriend accidentally killing a girl. He said she came back after a week to get the gauze removed and started hemorrhaging blood, and just almost they just saved her at the last. I still think about her. But then he goes into exile. Like, we have pictures. So he's camped out in London, just living a life while during the Blitzkrieg. Hitler's desperately trying to kill the gay mafia. The Londoners are like, oh, goddamn, the Germans. And the Germans are being idiots about it. They think they're, it's God's will. It's God's will to kill the gay mafia. The Jews. Because the Jews can't afford, your type of medicine. It's a lot of people to feed. It's a lot of hungry mouths. Germany, and they think that Allah or Muhammad is their devil and Jesus is theirs. So why don't the Jew, like, because it's not kosher? Like, you can't blame the Jew, but they have more money. So it's got to be the Jews. It's got to be the Jews. It's got to be the shoes, not the crack rock. It is most fortuitous that we are not affiliated, because I have never sold blow. I've never sold cocaine in any form. I tried crack, but I didn't inhale. I know what it smells like. Blow, I mean, I did enough, like, I felt the effects, but I didn't inhale. I know what it smells like. Point being, like, the principal that put me in the alternative school to expose me to that to begin with, 007. The doctor who said I lied to my mother, 007. I mean, try me. This doctor here, trying to confabulate a cartel, just probably misinformed, but still, there's a limit. There's got to be a limit to what a man's willing to do to survive, let alone make a buck. You're working out a little castle. Your only saving grace, the only excuse for the shortcuts, the corners they have cut, goes back to JFK and then de Gaulle. I mean, you either did it for the Catholics or you can get back in your boat right now. Go back to Canada. De Gaulle, terrorist, right? Not like Mandela. I mean, Gandhi, he's like, who could ever question Gandhi marching his people into the buttstock of a rifle over and over and over? He's not a terrorist. But, maybe we overstayed our welcome. British East India Company. Protestants just don't take no for an answer. They think that Muhammad is their devil and Jesus is the Muslim devil, which doesn't even, like, they have Shaitan, the jinn. They don't know the first fucking thing about Islam, let alone religion. Or religion, let alone Islam. Islam's not technically a religion, because if it believes it's not a god. First off. Like Christ, regardless, couldn't have been resurrected if he was an immortal. Defeats the whole purpose. I don't know what the Vatican meant in the past. Do I know more about it? Well, I mean, I'm a dragoon. I'm a theologist first, and then I just happen to end up a dragoon too. So, dragoons, for those who like think that they're fascists or whatever, they just, sometimes dying takes a little longer than the rest of us have not to. So you get your face stomped into the mud before you're finished, and it was a dragoon, not necessarily a fascist. Like, you died because you were shooting at me, not because of your God. That's why Protestantism, is a gray area as far as religion, because everybody out here protesting something. Islam's not a religion. Religion is a search for universal and eternal truth. It implies an afterlife, unless yours doesn't, in which case I rest my case anyway. Suffice to say, Germany, there's Catholics there, but it's a Protestant country, which, Protestants say it's a secular, it's completely, because it works better when you're cheating, when you're a bunch of heretics. The Irish put brave and honorable men in harm's way, and if they had the nerve to survive, they came home to find that their families had been exploited and they were treated like shit. Squatters. They invade, and hate the survivors to death. Because Islam works just as well with the Bible if you're not allowed to read it for 600 years. To this day, some people would rather die than even look at a book. The church has oppressed in the past. It has faltered. It has lost its way. But it maintains a relatively faithful... I mean, they don't lie about it. Islam exists only in the Dark Ages. It's all perfect all the time. It's just peace. Peace, peace, peace. We guarantee peace on behalf of God. Who are you to question? You know, skip to the loo. I'm jumping rope with your intestines, like stomping a hole in your chest and walking it dry. Got your peace. Because you have denied my people due process. Peace is our natural state. We don't need any help with that.